I'm jealous.
It started when I was like 18.
When I'm down.
I just signed my first publishing deal. I had always written songs because I just loved writing songs. Hum things, write poetry, and then I would turn them into songs. You know, I didn't even know that that was a job. Turned 18 and I signed that deal. It became very real. I had this pressure to perform.
Yeah.
That just ate me up. I had just a publisher that was like working me dry.
Yeah.
I would be in like 3 sessions a day, just be exhausted, like running off of like coffee and barely any food. One day I just had like one of the scariest like panic attack that I've ever had. I was in one of my friend's kitchens. We were writing songs and I just felt my heart go crazy, dropped to the floor, couldn't catch my breath, didn't know what it was. Thought I was dying. My anxiety turned to panic attacks when I was like 21. Good For You by Selena had come out and gone #1, and then Sorry for Justin had gone #1, and then Hands to Myself had gone #1, and it was like almost back to back to back. Like real success as a songwriter. This fear that I was gonna walk into a room and people were gonna like expect me to like shit gold.
Julia, welcome to The Squeeze.
Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to have you because Not in Chronological Order is one of my favorite albums.
Thank you. That's so nice.
Like I just love like your songwriting and you as an artist and your voice. So this was like really exciting for me.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Talk about our feelings.
Oh my gosh, the best. Okay, so we start off with a little game. This jar it's called Citrus Got Real.
Okay.
If you want to pull a little piece of paper out of there.
Okay.
And read the question.
Okay. Let's see. Which holiday would you celebrate once a month if you could? I think it would be like Thanksgiving for me. One, love food.
Yeah.
Love me some food.
Yeah.
But I also, I always throw like a massive Thanksgiving in my backyard every year for all my friends that don't have a lot of family here. And I don't have family here. So it's really nice to just be surrounded by like all my chosen family. And we have like 40 people in the backyard and it's just like so cozy and warm. And if I could just replicate that once a month, I would be like just in heaven.
Oh my gosh. I love that. That's so sweet. I'm trying to think what mine would be. Like, yeah, maybe it would be that. I also I love Christmas because it's like cozy. Like I'm like a sucker for like a twinkly tree.
Oh yeah.
In a onesie.
For sure. Usually around July is when I start getting the itch.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It's time.
I know. I actually recently was just like thinking about how I'm excited for summer. And then I was like, I actually wonder how long this is going to last because like I'm just like waiting for the switch to come. Like I was laughing at myself. I'm going to be eating my own words in like a couple months when it's like 100 degrees. I'm like, where's the fall?
It also goes so fast. I feel like it's like January and then it's June and then it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah.
Like it just goes so fast. So we're like, oh, we missed Christmas, but it's literally going to be here like tomorrow.
I feel like this year has gone by.
Flown.
Like I think the quickest any year has gone by.
Could not agree more.
That is not just me. No. I'm like, I've like stressed, I'm like, the month is over. Like how does this keep, I mean, clearly it keeps happening because that's how time works. But I'm like,
time does work like that.
How does this keep happening? Okay, you recently got engaged.
I did.
Congrats.
Thanks, girl.
How'd you guys meet?
I slid into his DMs, actually. Okay. It's kind of a long story, but not really.
Yeah.
I did this like interview like for Inked magazine a while back, and I got to be on the cover. And I followed them on Instagram, and you know every once in a while they'll show like a cool new tattoo artist and I was just scrolling and I saw this picture of this tattoo that was really funny and really cool. And I don't remember what it was at the time, but it was realistic, like hyper realistic on one part and then like the cartoon on another.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so cool. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I went to his page and I saw that he was French. And I was like, oh, he's in Paris. I'm going to Paris with all of my friends soon. Like, would love to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
And I was in a relationship at the time, so it wasn't like anything. Like, you know, it's just like, this is cool art. Would love to get a tattoo. We picked a day.
Yeah.
This was in March of 2020 that I'm supposed to go. Oh. So I go with my friends. This is like right when the pandemic is popping off.
Yeah.
We're like, do we even go still? And my friends are like, no, they're saying it's like the flu. You know, like, we don't fucking know.
Yeah. How would you?
Yeah. And so we ended up going. You know, like, it's chaos in the States, but we go there and no one's wearing masks. Like, everything's okay. But then we start hearing more and more, and I basically just ghosted him. I didn't go to the appointment. I was like, people are dying, like, priorities. Oh, and then never really talked to him again. And then my ex and I broke up, and I was going to New York with my mom.
Okay.
And I was scrolling, and I saw he was going to be there doing, like, a residency. And I DM'd him and was like, oh my gosh, like, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Would love to get a tattoo finally.
Yeah.
And we just started talking, and like, just the conversation was really nice. And I was like, when's your birthday? And he was like, are you asking for my sign? I'm a Scorpio, November 13th. I was like, wait, that's my birthday. And I was like, this motherfucker just, like, Googled my birthday or something, just to, like, be funny. And I was like,
oh my gosh,
prove it. And he sends me, like, the little blurb on his, like, ID. And I was like, that's so weird. I was like, do we look alike too? LOL. And he sends me a picture of himself, and I was like, hi. And we kind of do weirdly, like, look alike a little bit. But love him so much, and I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
So we, like, met in New York, ended up not getting a tattoo, and just we spent some lovely time together, and that was pretty much it. We've been together ever since.
I love that. Wait, that's crazy. You have the same birthday?
The same birthday.
I say that as someone who is married to someone now we have the exact same name, and I'm, like, shocked about your birthday. But I feel like that is crazy.
Yeah. 3 years apart. Yeah. But the same day. Yeah. So I always, because we do, like, we don't look alike, but we both have black hair. We're both covered in tattoos, both have hazel eyes. And, like, we celebrate our birthday together, and I always feel like I have to I'm like, no, we're not twins. Yeah. No.
So funny.
Like, no.
That's funny. One of my good friends, actually, him and I have the same birthday, and I'm an only child, and he's also an only child. So we always, like, grew up, like, wanting a sibling or, like, a shared birthday, and, like, now we share our birthday together with our friends. So
really
it's, like,
cute.
It's funny that has, like, happened later in life. Has he tattooed you at all?
No, he hasn't. But we talked about doing matching tattoos after our wedding. So I think we're gonna do that.
We did. Taylor and I have, like, our wedding date.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some numbers as well from like when we first started, like, really dating. Yeah. Just, like, significance of it.
I love that. He does really good stuff. I was, like, stalking him
Did you peep?
I peeped.
He's so talented. I know. He's so hot.
I can see the lore.
Love him so much.
Is it, I want to ask you this, is it nice dating someone that is not in the same industry as you?
Oh my gosh. It's glorious. Oh my God. I have unfortunately dated quite a few people in the music industry. I tend to shit where I eat a lot.
My husband did the same thing for a long time. So
it's awful. Don't recommend. Don't.
I did want to ask you this because I was reading an article, obviously, about you guys being engaged. And this is something that Taylor and I talk about a lot is when we got engaged, when we got married, in those articles, it always is like, he's also dated this person and this person and this person. And when I was reading some articles today, the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Was there.
Every time.
How do you, like, what are your thoughts to that? And how do you, like.
Luckily,
how do you sound that out? I guess for him too.
Yeah, luckily he's not really a jealous person.
That is me.
Yeah, and he's like, I mean, if you wanted to be with them, you would have been. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, love is a choice, and I choose him every day. But it is really frustrating when you can't like move away from your past, you know? And I know a lot of it is clickbait shit, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so tragic.
Yeah.
But he's just truly the loveliest about all of it. He's so understanding.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's sweet. Yeah, Taylor all the time. I mean, obviously, he's dated a lot of notable people that I have been fans of even like before we were together.
Yeah.
And I am not the jealous type. If anything, I'm weird because I like to actually hear about some of these things just because it like helps me know who he is. Like behind closed doors, what were his relationships before like? Because it like gives me insight into him and maybe how his mind works if I'm doing something that maybe someone else did and maybe it like triggers him or whatever.
Yeah.
But
luckily my man only listens to French rap and doesn't know who the fuck any of my exes are. So
that's so good. But Taylor obviously did a music video with Taylor Swift like a couple years ago. Yeah, I guess a couple years ago now. And I was getting asked about like his ex so much and like
so weird.
He was like, it's just like obviously like you're like they barely dated. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love her. She's a lovely human.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just like he was getting frustrated for me. Like the fact that so many people keep like bringing this up to you, like if it was any other world like that, that wouldn't be the thing.
Yeah, I mean he is not in the public eye at all. Like he's obviously very well respected in his field, but nobody in the tattoo community is gonna be like, hey, so she dated this person. Like they don't give a fuck. Yeah. So he doesn't have to deal with any of that, which is really nice. Yeah. And honestly, I've gotten really good at dodging questions from people when they ask me stupid questions about people that I don't care to talk about.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. It's an interesting world, but I saw that and I was like, I'm going to ask her like her opinion or like advice on that. Cause it's like, it's just like, it's an article that's celebrating like your love and celebrating this like next chapter for you. But then they have to add in like your past. And I'm like, why do we got to do that?
To be honest, I don't really look at those things. Yeah. You know, like they don't enhance my life in any capacity. Yeah. You know, like I'm in love and I'm happy and I'm getting married and like that's just the bottom line. And I feel like I would go fucking crazy if I looked at that stuff all the time. Like I don't really need constant reminders of the way that I wasn't loved right or the way that I wasn't treated right. Yeah. When I'm being loved the way that I want to now.
Yeah. That's so good.
You know?
I love that you have that love and that.
Me too. He's so great.
The best.
Love him.
I love that. Let's be honest, we have a million things we worry about every single day, and getting in a good workout shouldn't be one of them. That's where Tonal comes in. Tonal will pick the perfect weight, track your progress, and suggest what to do next based on your muscle readiness, taking the guesswork out of getting a great workout in. If you haven't heard of Tonal, Tonal is the world's smartest workout that effortlessly fits into the busiest of lifestyles. And with the latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal adjusts in 1 pound increments with adaptive weight that now goes up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. With new drop sets, Tonal 2 analyzes your movement, senses when you're fatiguing, and will drop the weight until your muscles are maxed out. And it's an experience you can only get in a gym until now. If you guys haven't heard of Tonal, you need to buy one of these right now. This machine is actually the coolest piece of equipment because it is like having a full-on personal trainer and gym into one machine that is just mounted on your wall. Doesn't take up any space. I have one mounted in my garage gym and it blows my mind every time I use it because it is so smart and so easy to use. I feel like hearing about it, you're like, oh, this sounds really complicated and honestly a little scary, but it's actually so user-friendly. If you're interested in this, you guys need to check them out because right now Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your purchase with promo code SQUEEZE. That's tonal.com and use promo code SQUEEZE for $200 off your purchase. That's tonal.com, promo code SQUEEZE for $200 off.
Okay, Lemon Drop. So I don't know if you're like me, but when I sleep, I need to sleep in a cold environment. But there's actually some scientific proof that shows that sleeping at cooler temperatures actually helps your sleep quality and overall health. One of those being that sleeping at cooler temperatures helps facilitate the body's natural drop in core temperature at night, promoting the release of melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. And this leads to a faster sleep onset and improved sleep quality. If you're looking for a colder night's sleep, let alone a cozier night's sleep, you guys need to try Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets. They are temperature regulating, guaranteed to give you a comfortable night's sleep. They're made from viscose, from bamboo. They naturally wick away heat and moisture from your body, helping you sleep several degrees cooler. I have had Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets for years, and when I tell you that these sheets help give you a cooler night's sleep, if you haven't heard of them, you guys need to check out Cozy Earth. Something that I love about them is they offer a 100-night sleep trial. You can try them during the hottest nights of the year, and if you're not in love with them, you can return them hassle-free. I have them on multiple beds throughout our house, and so many of my family and friends have found Cozy Earth and truly love their sheets. Upgrade your summer. Go to CozyEarth.com and use code SQUEEZE for 40% off best-selling temperature-regulating sheets, apparel, and more. Trust me, you'll feel the difference the very first night. Sleep cooler, lounge lighter, stay cozy.
We talk a lot about self-care on The Squeeze, but one powerful aspect of self-care that deserves a little more attention is self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is the act of fully embracing both your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. When you embrace your strengths and your weaknesses, we feel more accepted by ourselves and also by others. One great way to feel accepted financially is with Discover. That's because Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. That percentage is based on the February 2025 Nielsen report, which means acceptance at 99% of businesses like yoga studios and juice bars. There's a good chance that you'll feel stronger with the improved flexibility of yoga and the boosted immune system of juice. And more strength certainly helps when it comes to embracing both your strengths and weaknesses. And thanks to Discover's cashback match, Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year. And there's no limit on how much they'll match. So get out there, be accepted, double up on the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, and maybe use it towards even more self-care. It pays to Discover. See terms at discover.com/creditcard. Okay, let's talk about some mental health, because you obviously have been very open about your mental health and struggling with anxiety and panic attacks. And is this something that developed for you later in life, or did you struggle with that when you were younger?
It definitely developed later in life. Yeah. It started when I was like 18.
Okay.
I just signed my first publishing deal. And I think that I had always written songs because I just loved writing songs.
Yeah.
I started writing songs really young. Before I even knew what it was. I didn't even know. I would just hum things, or I'd write things down, or I would write poetry, and then I would turn them into songs. I didn't even know that that was a job.
Yeah.
And I think when I turned 18 and I signed that deal, it became very real that I now had this pressure to perform.
Yeah.
And I think that just ate me up. And I didn't have a manager at the time. I had just a publisher that was like working me dry.
Yeah.
I would be in like 3 sessions a day and just be exhausted and like running off of like coffee and barely any food.
Yeah.
And one day I just had like one of the scariest like panic attack like that I've ever had. I was in one of my friend's kitchens. We were writing songs and I just felt my heart go crazy.
Yeah.
And I just like dropped to the floor, just couldn't catch my breath.
Wow. Didn't
know what it was. I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
And then went through like a series of tests to make sure I wasn't dying. And they're like, yeah, no, you have anxiety.
Yeah.
And I was kind of introduced to anxiety because my sister had it.
Okay.
But I was always like, you're fine. Everything's fine. Like I was like 9, when my sister was 12 or 13 when she had it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. What, like, everything's okay. And then, you know, you go through it yourself and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that I dismissed your feelings. Like, I had no idea that this was what you were going through. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And I had like people in my family when I started having anxiety dismissing my feelings, and to just know how it all felt in that moment. But yeah, it started really late in life, and then it was really bad. My anxiety turned to panic attacks when I was like 21, because 21 was when I started having like real success as a songwriter.
Yeah.
I think like Good For You by Selena had come out and gone #1, and then Sorry for Justin had gone #1, and then Hands to Myself had gone #1, and it was like almost back to back to back. And then I had this fear that I was gonna walk into a room and people were gonna like expect me to like shit gold.
Yeah.
And I was terrified. I would have panic attacks in the rooms all the time. And it got to a point where I was like, this just can't be like my life. I can't be having all of these like amazing things that are happening right now.
Yeah.
And feel this way. And I still have this weird relationship with success.
Yeah.
I still like when good things are happening, I still get those like kind of PTSD, like anxiety responses from it. And that's something I've really been trying to work on in therapy as a 31-year-old woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started later in life for me.
Yeah. When did you decide to like publicly share about it?
I had that success when I was 21, and when I was 23, I signed a record deal with Republic Records, and I put out a song called Issues, which was obviously like a very vulnerable song.
Yeah.
And I think because it was a very vulnerable song, it kind of was my like identifier.
Yeah.
And then I think there was kind of like an expectation that I was going to speak about things that I was going through. And I'm an open book. Like, I have no problem talking about these things. You know, if it helps somebody in Nebraska that's watching, you know, then amazing. But yeah, I think, I mean, I was pretty open about it right away because I was actively living in it. I had to start performing. I had never really performed before. I learned how to sing on the mic in the dark in a booth where I could re-sing it 80 times and no one was going to judge me.
Yeah.
And, you know, being in front of people that you don't know and how raw and vulnerable and scary that is.
Yeah.
I was petrified, like, everywhere I went. I think there was like an entire year where I just had nothing but anxiety. I even tried to like run away from a few events because I was just like crippled with anxiety. It was awful.
Yeah, that is, I relate to a level on that because it's the worst. And it's also, I feel like you almost can't like validate yourself. Like I've been in a season right now where I've been having a bit more panic attacks.
Same.
I worked as a COVID nurse in 2020.
Wow.
And then
thank you for all your help.
Thank you. But I obviously like developed PTSD and a lot of stuff from that. And that was when a lot of my stuff was going on. And now I'm like removed from it. But at the same time, I'm like, I've had like 3 panic attacks this month. Like I'm like, I thought I was past this. And I'm like, I'm kind of like, at times I feel like I'm like getting discouraged, but I'm like, no, actually, like, it's maybe just a reminder for me that I need to like check in. Like, even just when's the last time you had a glass of water? When's the last time like your skin saw the sun? Like that kind of a thing. But,
no, I get it. I literally woke up this morning, like I couldn't sleep. I woke up feeling like so dizzy and my nose was bleeding. And I was like, cool, like, sure. Like that's how we're going to start our day. Let's go. Yeah. And I'm going through so many like beautiful things right now, but also going through like a couple tough things. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and I was like, my anxiety is so bad right now because I am so sensitive. Yeah. Like, and I'm such a like routine kind of a person, and I keep the same people around me, And so when like the synergy of that gets like knocked off, even just a little bit,
Yeah.
my whole body just feels it. And
Yeah.
I'm like so stressed, and I like, takes me forever to get back onto. And my therapist is like, I would be really surprised right now if you weren't anxious with like everything that you're going through. And she's like, honestly, I think that you need to just have anxiety right now.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. Like it kind of sucks that it's happening, but like this too shall pass.
Yeah.
You know? It's not gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
And I have to remember. And my anxiety comes in waves. Like sometimes it will be so bad.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like a month where I have none of it.
You're like,
and I'm like,
"Who is she?
wow.
Yeah.
Like I'm thriving.
Yeah.
And then she'll just come up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Like, how long are you staying here? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge you rent now. Like this is
literally.
like this is crazy.
Yeah. I feel like that's like, I get frustrated when I start to struggle again, but at the same time, I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna let this have power over me.
Period.
Even though it definitely has power sometimes, but
Period.
I know that there will be like another side to it.
Do you have like your kind of like go-to to get yourself out of it methods?
Sometimes, yes. I have recently realized though that I was being naughty, and normally my husband knows when I'm a workaholic too. Like I cannot sit still. Like I feel like I'm being lazy if I even just like take like an hour, like sit, and I could work for 12 hours and I'd be like, well, no, I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
It's something that I need to work through. And he is the opposite of that. Like he's very good. Like when it's downtime, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I found myself kind of like keeping that I was stressed going on because there was a lot of stuff that had to be done. We have like personal stuff going on over summer, and I was keeping from him that I was anxious, because normally I'll tell him when I am feeling anxious if I like need to lay in bed for the day. I'll have like a work from bed day.
Is he really like forgiving?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And he knows, and he's like my voice of reason. He's like, you need to chill. Like, let's say no to this.
My man
and
too.
But I wasn't telling him I was anxious. So I was saying yes to everything, and I didn't have my voice of reason. And then I had a snowball of panic attacks, and I was like, I can't like shame on me for doing that. Like I can't.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever did it. And I was like, oh frick. Like my brain has gotten, she's learned that I go to him and I'm like, hey, like I'm kind of struggling with this.
Yeah.
And she didn't want me to go to him, and I didn't. And I mean, luckily it's
nothing worse than having it like take it on yourself too. You know,
God,
I tend to be a bit of a martyr in the sense that I'm like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
I can handle like, oh, this is, I'm going to make this more complicated for myself.
Yeah.
So that I don't burden everybody else. And it's
literally,
like, but I don't have like, that's why people are in our lives that love us. Like, that's why they're here and they want to be there for you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's so true. But
especially when I know I'm going to be going through something, or I'm going through something, I'll be like, babe, this might not be affecting me right now.
Yeah.
But it might affect me in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And just know that like, if it does, I'm sorry, this is just what it's going to be for a little bit. And he's like, I totally understand. I got you.
Yeah.
And he's so patient, and like, he can always tell too if I'm going through something, and he'll be like, do you want to take a bath or something? Like water for me is like, I need to be around water, in water, by water, something that for me, like when I am having anxiety, like a bath, a long shower, like just the sound of water even calms me down.
Yeah.
And he can like just see it on my face. He'll be like, bath? I'm like, yeah, okay. And sometimes we'll do one together, and he'll be like, do you want to talk about it? And sometimes I will, and sometimes I won't, because sometimes I like need to even just process it myself before I can even talk about it out loud.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
Taylor always asks me, because sometimes I have OCD, so I definitely like spiral with things, and that can like bring it on. But sometimes it's just like there's nothing, and all of a sudden I'm crying, and I like need my inhaler, I can't breathe, like type thing.
Yeah.
And he always will be like, is there anything that caused it? And I'm like, he's like, it's okay if there's not. And I'm like, no, there's not. He's like, that's okay. And he just like, it's so cool. And like, I want this type of relationship for like everyone, like not even just my friends, like everyone, like having a partner that I can literally go to sobbing. I know he's not going to ask me any questions. Like when the time is right, he will. I know he's not going to judge me. I know he's literally he will just hold me and I'll sob. And even if it's like the dumbest thing that sent me, he's like, well, we're going to work through it. Or like, it's fine. Or you have a lot in your, like, he's just so reassuring.
Same.
And being with him is the first relationship I've ever like. I think it comes down to like respect too. I always say
100%.
Like, people are like, "What's your favorite quality about him?" Like that he respects me, and he's like, "You make me sound so dumb." Like when you say that, I'm like, "No." Like,
but you would think that's just like a
common, like a normal common sense thing,
but it's not, which is so sad.
Weird. Maybe we need to like reevaluate things. But I've never like described someone like that before. And he was like, what do you even mean? I'm like, you actually like respect me as a human. You actually care what I think. You actually care that I'm doing well. You care that I'm thriving. You like he actually cares about everything for me, which I feel like is so important. And sometimes I'm like, I like literally don't know like what I would do
without you. Period.
Yeah. No, literally.
Yeah. He knows that my love languages are physical touch and quality time.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm really stressed, he knows that like we could be on the couch and he could put his like fucking pinky toe on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, I feel loved.
Yeah.
It's great. Thank you.
Literally.
You know, or like if I'm really stressed, he's like, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Like, let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
Let's go get breakfast together. Let's go spend some time together before you have to go to work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that does help me so much.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really nice having a partner that knows that.
Yeah.
And like actively tries to like make like our relationship.
Yeah.
Because he knows like obviously if I'm sad or whatever, like he's just he's gonna like be there for me and vice versa. And it's really nice that he sees it and then shows up. You know, like I feel
Shows
like
up is so good.
I feel like that's also something that should be common in a relationship and isn't.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok the other day and it was you like women choose your men like wisely, your partner for life, because that's who is going to be with you like when your parents die. That's who's going to be with you like, and you're going to have to deal with death and loss with this human. So choose them right, because that is like the ultimate like you're gonna
I think I commented on that.
Oh,
to be honest. And I said something like, I was like, yeah, I've been with my man through both of his grandparents passing away.
Yeah.
He's been with me through like 2 major surgeries that I had to have.
Yeah.
And like basically we started dating in July. I had this like heart surgery in August, and he was like calling my mom, making like he flew to come be there and sleep next to me in the hospital, and had to like help me even get to the toilet so I could pee, and like it was like, honestly, I knew that I had feelings for him, but it was that and him being so willing to take care of me when we had basically just met.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is my person.
Yeah.
When I was with my ex, I started having like these little heart issues, and I was like letting him know that this was probably going to be a possibility, that I was going to have this surgery. And he said to me, I hope I'm in town for that. Isn't that amazing? I love when
What?
I love when boys be boying, you know what I mean? He said, I hope I'm in town for that. And this man, I met him, and then literally a month later he was sleeping.
He made himself in town
next to me.
that.
Yes. Absolutely. And then took care of me, hung out with my mom for an entire week. They got to know each other, and they were watching movies and like playing board games together and like taking care of me. And I was just like, yeah, this is literally the man I'm going to marry. Period.
Wow. Ladies, if you take anything away from this episode, it's you just find a man like we have.
Find a man.
Find a man. Period. literally weird. I actually even forgot we were filming. I was like so locked into this conversation. Like, what am I even supposed to be talking about? I mean, I guess that is it. I love that. Say goodbye to sticky notes and calendar confusion with Skylight. The Skylight calendar is here to keep your family organized. This beautifully designed digital display syncs with your existing calendars, making it effortless to track events, appointments, and reminders all in one easy-to-see place. Skylight Calendar was designed to connect the digital and non-digital worlds while bringing families together. It is a Wi-Fi connected digital display that showcases your family's schedule with clarity, color, and brilliance in either a 10 or 15-inch touchscreen. It syncs seamlessly with Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook, and more, giving you customizable views for daily, weekly, or monthly planning. I have mine up in my office, up on my counter, and I have it set up to show my weekly calendar so I can see what I have going on, what Taylor has going on. And it's so great because I walk by it so many times a day. I could just glance at it and I'm reminded of what I have going on that day, what Taylor has going on Thursday, whatever it may be. And with the free Skylight Companion app, you can add or update events, list, and more on the go. Your happiness is Skylight's happiness. So if 120 days you are not 100% thrilled with your purchase, you can return it for a full refund, no questions asked. And right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/squeeze. Go to skylightcal.com/squeeze for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That is skylighthtcal.com/squeeze. Summer means vacations, outdoor adventures, and longer days, but also less time spent cooking healthy meals at home. If you're reaching for quick solutions that compromise your nutrition, Tempo has your back. With fresh, protein-rich meals ready in just 3 minutes, you can fuel your summer fun without sacrificing your health or valuable free time. Tempo, the official partner of the 2025 CrossFit Games, delivers fresh, chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals right to your door. Packed with protein, their delicious meals help keep you fueled and ready for your next workout. Tempo serves up fast, feel-good single-serving meals that are crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, so you can eat well without sacrificing taste or convenience. With new recipes each week that are made with real ingredients and nutrient-rich, they make it easy to keep up a healthy lifestyle. That is something that I find is so hard with a busy schedule, and somehow over summer, the schedule gets even more busy, but having Tempo available and a healthy meal ready to eat in 3 minutes of cook time, it's so great because I'm not driving through the fast food. I'm not reaching for the unhealthy snack. Having good food available with Tempo helps me stay healthy and on my health goals. And for a limited time, Tempo is offering our listeners 60% off your first box. You can go to tempomeals.com/squeeze. That's tempomeals.com/squeeze for 60% off your first box. tempomeals.com/squeeze. Rules and restrictions may apply. Wait, okay, no, you did mention something that it's not on my thing, but you said it, so I'm going to ask you. I feel like something that I've learned, I didn't like grow up in, we grew up very similar in the Santa Clarita world. Mm-hmm. My first entrance into this industry was when my husband and I started dating. And even then, like, he is the most normal, like, famous person I've ever, like, I forget, like, he's like,
of course,
like lived an entire life before I knew him. And I find it interesting that I talk to, like, obviously with this podcast, talk to a lot of people that have had fame and success and are on Netflix shows and doing this, that, and the other. And they all say a very similar thing that you said, that when they're having this success and then they are struggling with their mental health, it's hard for people to, like, validate, like, I shouldn't be feeling this way if I'm having this success. Like, who gets to say they're starring in the #1 show on Netflix? Who gets to say they have a song at the top of the charts, whatever it may be?
Right.
And, like, it's this weird, like, mindfuck thing that happens when it's like, even though there is good things happening, like, it's hard to, like, there's so many people that would want to be in my shoes. Like, how, like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Like, I should be excited. I should be this, and kind of like invalidating yourself. How have you grown to validate yourself, I guess, through those thoughts?
You're fine. I haven't. I don't yet. I don't think.
Yeah.
I definitely try to be, like, forgiving with myself.
Yeah.
But I think everything is relative,
Yeah.
you know? Just because, you know, you're working on a set and, you know, you're struggling with your mental, like, doesn't mean you're not allowed
Yeah.
to struggle with your mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course, like, that's stressful. It's a lot of pressure. Like, of course you're allowed to have that. And so I think I just try to give myself grace
Yeah.
as much as possible, honestly. And I try to be, you know, forgiving.
Yeah.
It's hard too, though, when you see comments from people that are like, oh, you asked for this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I didn't ask to be like bullied online and like be treated like caquita by like a bunch of people I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That's not what I asked for.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I had this, mind you, I would not call myself a famous person at all. And I had this girl come up to me.
Me too, honestly. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Like, I'm
not being followed by people on the regular. Like,
No.
I get to just like make songs and like, honestly, I walk down the street, nobody knows who the fuck I am. I'm like, great, love that.
That's the kind of success I strive for. But this girl, she's probably like 18, maybe. She came up to me and she was like, she said something like, I love your podcast, whatever. And she was like, I didn't realize that famous people struggled with their mental health. And I was like, it's not just like if anything, honestly, like it's everyone struggles with mental health. And I feel like fame just honestly brings on this weird level of mental health struggles that I didn't personally ever see my friends struggle with that weren't like, it's this weird thing, but it's so interesting that the public has this opinion that just because you have money, because you have success,
Right.
because you have whatever, like you don't have any problems.
Or you don't have any feelings either.
Yeah.
It's like we're like robots.
Yeah.
And that's not obviously true.
Yeah. It's
at
such,
all.
it's such like an interesting like balance of, I don't know, people's opinion. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Luckily, I feel like
It's a weird world.
it is. It really is. I feel like I'm like luckily on like the outside of it, and my husband has a very loving fan base, so I don't ever have to like.
That's good.
Whenever we have like a reality person on the podcast, I just know the hate comments are coming in because that's like who comes and comments on the mean things.
Yeah,
so.
I typically have like really lovely fans.
Yeah.
It's typically sometimes the fans of the artists that I write with that's sometimes have something to say about me for some
You
reason.
have written with a lot of artists that have big fan bases, so
Yeah.
I could see that.
And sometimes they're not that nice to me. And I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I love the person that you root for so much. Like, so I don't know why you're coming for me, but sure.
Yeah, it's a fun world that we live in. Okay, I want to talk about songwriting. We kind of touched on it. You started writing like when you were a kid. Is that always what you wanted to do? Like, were you ever like, I want to do, I don't know, a corporate job? I don't know. Was that what you wanted to do?
When I was in high school, I was taking electives for forensic science because I thought that I might go to school to do something like that. But that was because I just didn't know that you could actually have a career as a songwriter. Like, I didn't know that was a thing, really.
Yeah.
My sister would sing like demos around the city. Well, I knew by 16, it was 16, that you could, but I didn't know you could like live off of being a songwriter.
Yeah.
You know, my dad had moved here to be an actor, and that didn't really work out the way that he wanted it to.
Yeah.
And I think when I started showing a lot of interest in songwriting, he was like, no, like, you're going to school. You know, it was like
for sure.
that kind of a vibe. And my sister, when I was like 15, 16, was singing kind of some demos around the city, which basically, it doesn't really work like that these days.
Yeah.
But when I was coming up, basically like songwriters would write a song, and if they wanted to pitch it to an artist, they would hire someone like my sister that could kind of like sing it in the same way, emote it the same way in order to pitch it. And so my sister would do a lot of that and get paid for doing that. And then I would just sort of follow her around the city sometimes. And my mom had come with us one day, and God love her. But she lives in Nashville now, and I'm very grateful for the space. Yeah. But she, hi Mom, I love you. She knows, love you. And we went to this woman's house. Her name's Jolene Bell. And my mom was like, you should sing for her. And I was like, Mom, like, and I ended up like singing a song for her on the piano. And she was like, do you write songs? And I was like, well, I like to like, pretend that I can. And she was like, we should write sometime. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And I remember one day I was getting ready to go to the mall to meet a friend of mine, and my mom had picked me up, and she started going like the opposite direction of the Valencia Mall. Yep. I'm like, Mom, where are you going? She was like, you're going to the studio. I was like, but Allison's waiting for me at the mall. Like, what do you do? And and so I literally went to the studio and I started writing songs with her, and we did a lot of like library songs. So we started in the sync world and more of the like film TV world. And she was doing a lot with like Nickelodeon and Disney at the time. Okay. And so we had done a couple songs for the show called Austin and Ally. At this point, I'm like 17, and two of the songs get picked up for the show. And the guy that was running the music division at the time for Disney, his name was Steve Vincent, was like, we think you guys should try for the theme song. And we're like, sure. So we tried for the theme song. We don't really hear anything. A week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and she emails him. She's like, hey, if you need us to write a new one, let us know. We're happy to do that. And he emails her back about an hour later and is like, actually, we just found out that it's yours. And so I was 17. I was like in my math class. I went to a OFL, Opportunities for Learning. Yeah. And I had math. That was like the last thing I needed to pass. So I was like in my math class there. Yeah. And when I got the call, I was like, bye. And I actually didn't tell anybody that it happened because, you get like 100 no's before you get a yes. And there's always that like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. And then everyone's like, oh, hey, whatever happened to that thing? And you're like, oh, well, dig the knife in. Yeah. And so I actually didn't tell anybody. I signed the papers on my 18th birthday. And then when I actually saw it on TV, I told my parents. Oh my gosh. And then, from there I started writing. And then I started kind of working more with artists from there, like starting around 19. And then, just kind of...
It's so...
kept happening.
It's so crazy to like look at the songs that you've written on. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like, it's so cool. Like,
I'm very grateful. I've seen so many people in the songwriting world, especially, like, come and go. Yeah. Like, they'll have a hit and it'll be like everywhere, and then they just disappear. You're like, where? And I'm so grateful that I am still here and people still ask me to be in rooms. Like, and it's nice because I still work with a few of the people that I came up with. Yeah. We're still, awesome. So it's nice. Like, these are people that I've known since I was 18, 19. I'm 31 now. And so getting to even grow up with these people and change with these people and evolve with these people musically and like personally. And it's just been such a beautiful thing. And I'm so happy that, a lot of the people that I worked with when I was 19, I still work with today, even artists,
That's special.
Yeah, it is special. It really is.
Yeah. I just feel like you have like such a unique, like you're one of those people that I know is so authentically yourself, and I think that's a testament to your success. Is I don't feel like you're trying to like be this person. Like you're just like, you are you, and you show up and you are just spill your heart out into these songs.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, that's the point of being in the room.
Yeah.
You know, like we have to be vulnerable and like put whatever foot forward we have to that day, you know, and whether that person shows up and they want to talk about, you know, a relationship that they're in or things that they're going through, or they want to just be like, hey, I want to talk about none of this because I'm avoidant. And, you know, like, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Whatever that means for you, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I think my nature is to nurture.
Yeah.
I've always been the person where, like, you know, if someone's crying in the studio and I just meet them, like, my first instinct is just to like mama bear someone. For
sure.
Or like someone's having a panic attack or something, or I'm like, here, I have oranges, like eat something, or like, you know, like someone's like freaking out and they're sweating. I'm like, you know, like I'm just like holding their hair and I'm like blowing on their neck. I'm like, you know, I'm just have always been a very like active service kind of a person. And I think that really kind of like comes in handy in my line of work, because like it's not about ego. I don't have a fucking ego, you know, like I just want to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Like I just want to do whatever you want to do here.
Yeah.
And if it turns out amazing, amazing. If not, like we're human.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know, at least I got to spend a few hours with you and got to like get to know you and talk. And if we get to do this again, amazing. If not, like I'm grateful that I got to have this experience with you.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so true. That ego thing is so true, because I feel that honestly with you and Benny, like I feel like Benny is the same. Like there's like we had dinner with him and Selena like last time we were in New York. I don't know. It's been a long time, but that was, I think maybe Taylor's been on before, but that was our first time like really sitting down with him. And we're like, you literally would have no idea. Like this dude has even done any, like you would have no clue. And I feel like you are the same way. And it's cool that I love when success happens to people like that. And it's a reminder to people that are trying to be successful. Like your ego is going to get in the way of
100%.
your success.
And I've seen it. I've seen it ruin a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a big reason why people come and go. And like also, you can be the best songwriter in the world, but if you're a fucking asshole and you're showing up and it's like it's your way or the highway, like no one's gonna want to work with you.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've definitely learned that there are a lot of amazingly talented human beings in this world that are not going to treat you like that. Even artists, like I won't name names, but if I'm in a room with someone and they feel like they can be rude to me, I'm like, cool. Like there's other songwriters that will happily do this with you. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and let you treat me like this. Yeah. That's not what we're doing today. Good. But I'm happy for you. Yeah. And if there's somebody that can stand that with you, then let them do that. Yeah. But it will never be me. Yeah. Like, thank you.
Yeah. That's a great boundary.
Yeah. You know, I'm learning those. It's funny because I found in my business side of my life, I have so many more than I do in my personal life. Yeah. And I think because in my business life, like as a songwriter, I know what I can do and what I'm capable of. Yeah. And I find a lot of power in who I am in my confidence of knowing that I can do this. Yeah. And in my personal life, I don't think I feel powerful. And and in that, I don't have a lot of boundaries. Yeah. Which is funny. Yeah. And so, like with business things or with songwriting things or like with things that are like of principle or of moral, I'm like, no, this isn't fair. I know this isn't fair. Yeah. This isn't right. I know this isn't right. Yeah. And I'm like, cool. I know this is true. I know the situation. I will leave. Yeah. or this doesn't serve me or my peace, I will leave.
Yeah.
But if it's like personal stuff, I'll forget it.
Yeah.
I have no boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, take all my money. I don't care. It's whatever. It's fine.
We're
Everything's
still
fine.
learning those. I know.
It's like Elmo with the like or like the
Yeah.
with the burning fire. That's literally me in my personal life, like at all times.
That is so funny. That's like a perfect picture to paint right there too. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm curious, do you like songwriting or performing your own like music more? Do you like writing for other people or writing for yourself and then like performing it more?
I think writing is something that has always been my first love.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the process of songwriting.
Yeah.
I love that you can walk into a room and not know anything about the person that you're about to write a song with.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, an hour later, 4 hours later, 6 hours later, you have a song and you get to take it with you and you can like listen to your feelings and like you can leave it there. I love that there's this like outlet for people in my industry to be able to have, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not someone that writes in a journal because I'm like, why would I do that when I could just literally go write about it and be able to like put it down and have it. And like, if I want to share it with the world, then I get to share it in the world. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And I love writing with other people because, like I write one type of genre for myself typically, but I write all kinds of genres with all kinds of artists, and I love that I never know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because I'm such a routine person, and this is not routine in the way that we go about songs.
Yeah.
Like ever, because you never know who you're gonna write with. Like sometimes people come in and they'll have an idea. Yeah. And it's like, great, let's write that idea. Or sometimes people will come in and they don't write songs. Yeah. But they'll talk in lyrics. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, great. Like all you got to do is talk and we'll just put this in a song. Yeah. Or sometimes people are so self-sufficient and I'm like, cool. Like maybe I'm here to help with like structure and like a line or two or like sway you into how this can work conceptually. Yeah. And so it's just different all the time. Yeah. And I love that. And I think performing can sometimes feel a little routine. Yeah. Because you're kind of singing the same songs every night. And like, even though I love being with fans and like seeing the fans and like seeing the songs come to life in real time and like seeing them and be like, this is the point. Yeah. Like, this is literally the point. Yeah. I think my safe space will always be in a studio, in a dimly lit room, writing a song about whatever the hell I want to write a song about. Like that was my safe space as a teenager, was being in my room and having my own, like having my keyboard in my room and writing. Like that's just always been where I've felt the freest and the safest.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for you. I did want to ask, have you ever had a hard time parting with a song? Like writing, I don't know. You could say no and that's not how it works, but like, have you ever written a song and you were like maybe wanting to you sing it and you ended up giving it away to someone else and you were like,
yeah. Well, Issues actually was going to be that. Oh. Issues was written like in a camp for somebody else. Oh. But I was going through something at the time. Yeah. And I think it was like the most personal song that I had written. Yeah. And I'd never really had like an attachment to songs, but I think because it was like my story, it felt really weird. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with somebody singing my story. And not all the time, but sometimes people will, like some artists will say that they wrote it when they didn't. Which is like fine. It's part of like our industry. Yeah. Like again, doesn't happen all the time, but there are a select few people. And the idea of like my emotional like attachment to the song and like my history in the song
Yeah.
being like I didn't even like I wasn't there in my own story
Yeah.
was like like a weird feeling for me.
Yeah.
And so that was like kind of the first time where I was like, I don't know if I can give this to somebody.
Yeah.
And I never had the thought of being an artist. That was not really like in my plan.
Yeah.
I always thought I was just going to be like, you know, a Cara Diagordi or a Diane Warren, you know, someone that was just kind of like behind the scenes, but was just like, you know, writing songs. And yeah, the song was just like a little too personal. And then it was everywhere. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it happened like much quicker than I had anticipated.
Yeah. Was that scary? Like coming out with your own?
Terrifying. Yeah. Terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
It's obviously so different when you've been a part of a song and you get to like watch it like come out and, you know, and like obviously support like these artists that you love. And but yeah, oh my gosh, it was so scary because then everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
And I never had that before.
I'm
like, I'm just a shadow. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like an invisible shadow and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And then it was like everyone was staring at me all at once.
Yeah.
And it was so scary.
Yeah. I can imagine. Have you grown to enjoy that more? As I mean, you've obviously come out with a lot of your own music since that. Have you learned to enjoy it more, or do you still?
I don't perform as much as I used to. I want to, but I think I didn't put out music for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of stuck on my label, and not that I'm petty. I'm petty. I just didn't want to give songs to a label that weren't going to help me. And I just was like, I would rather do this on my own than you taking half of everything that I own and doing nothing.
Yeah.
And luckily I had a very amicable split from my label. They were so lovely about letting me go and letting me do this on my own. And it could have been really nasty. And I'm so grateful that it wasn't. Like, shout out to them for being so lovely about letting me leave. But I'm now like in the process of putting out music. Yeah. Which is so nice to be able to do that again. And I just have to say too, like my fans since Issues, I mean, they are unwavering. They are so unconditional. Like when I don't put out music, they're still there supporting me. They're so lovely, so warm. I really believe you like attract what you put out. And so like, I hope that is like the energy that I give. Yeah. And that is like what I have received from my fans, which is just so incredible. Yeah. And so being able to put out music has been so nice. But I haven't been performing like I have in the past because I didn't have a lot of new music. Yeah. And that's something that we're talking about now. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like, you know, even when I meet people and they know who I am, it's never like frantic or anything like that. Like a lot of the times people will come up to me and be like, hey, just big fan of your songwriting. You know, we'll talk about music for a little bit. And most of the time, which I really love, they won't even be like, can I take a picture with you or anything like that. A lot of times this is like an airport meet where I'm like in my sweatpants. Yeah. I've got my like Starbucks, you know? So like, luckily they're very gracious with me and they're like, oh no, you look like a troll. Like, don't worry, I'm not gonna like blast you like this.
Love that. I love that for you.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of my encounters are just like, it's like almost like seeing old friends. Like you're like, oh hey, like how are you? It's been so long. Like, yeah, cool. Like sounds good. All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Have a great flight.
There's something that's so cool about having like genuine fans like that. Like when people come up to me and talk about the podcast, they're like, I loved your episode with so and so because of this. I'm like, wow, like you actually like this podcast is like my baby.
Yeah.
As like, you know, your songs are your babies. And it's like, it's cool to like have like receive that love of like, and people like actually like knowing, you know, people come up to Taylor all the time and be like, I love the werewolf movie. I'm like, you don't even know what it's called. You're just like trying to take a photo with him.
But it's like the people that come up to you and are respectful.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, cool. I actually want to take a picture with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, you're so nice and cool and chill about like all of it.
Yeah.
It's the ones where like, I'll be like walking and someone will like scream my name or something.
Yeah.
Like in a public place. And I'm like, you didn't have to do, you can, I'm very normal. You can literally come up to me and be like, hey, what's up? And be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, nice to meet you. Bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was one time this guy like made like a TikTok about how I was like rude to him in a Target because he had like screamed at me from like like down the aisle, and I like jump scared because obviously if someone's screaming at me in a public place, my first reaction isn't going to be like, oh hi. My initial reaction is going to be like, there's a crazy man screaming at me.
Yeah. I'm gonna run.
I'm gonna I'm like in fight or flight mode.
For sure.
Like I'm either gonna punch you in the face or I'm gonna run. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you had just been like, oh hey, like fan of your music, that's cool. Like I'd be like, cool, thank you. Like that's really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a way.
There is a way.
There's a way.
There is a way. And I'm very thankful when people understand that way.
Yeah, me too.
Very much so.
Yeah. And the ones that like see that I'm like with my family or I'm like with my friends and they're like, you know what? I want to say hi, but like she's doing her thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wow, that's so nice.
Yeah.
You understand boundaries.
Yeah.
We love that for you.
We love boundaries.
We love that.
Even though we're still trying to figure them out.
We're still figuring them out.
Okay, you touched on new music, and you actually have some new music out.
I
You have a
do.
new EP out.
I do.
Called Second Self. What does this project mean to you?
So this is my first project independent, which is so big.
Can you explain that a little bit to our listeners that may not like, if there's like a layman's terms for that?
So basically, I started my own label. So I'm
freaking cool.
releasing it by myself. I have this incredibly beautiful small team of people that we've put together for this label to help it run smoothly and get it off the ground. But that just means I don't have like the major label support. I don't have the bank. I don't have the DSP reach. I don't have the infrastructure that labels would have. So, you know, a song comes out on a major artist on a major label. The song is everywhere because they're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into the campaign for you to be able to see those songs and hear those songs. We ain't got that.
Yeah.
Like, we are small and mighty and we're out here doing it, you know?
Yeah.
That's basically what it means.
Yeah.
And I called it Second Self for a few reasons. One being like, this is sort of my second chance to, sort of bet on myself.
Yeah.
And two, you know, I was talking about this earlier, but like, you know, when you come out with a song that is like your first song, a lot of the times that is sort of your identifier.
Yeah.
You know, so like you come out with a song like Issues, and so people kind of expect you to be this vulnerable, raw, emotional person
For sure.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm not allowed to have personality traits other than those things. Yeah. And I think when you're signed to a major label and that becomes your identifier, anytime you try to do anything else, it's like, no, but you're like the sad girl on the label. You need to be the sad girl on the label, you know?
Yeah.
And then you start to kind of be in your head anytime you write something that's like sexy or flirty or fun or whatever, and you're like, oh no, but like my fans don't want to hear this, my label definitely doesn't want to hear this.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna just write songs that are like emotional and heartbreaking, because that is who I am.
Yeah.
And that is a big part of who I am. Yeah. I am those things. Yeah. There is no doubt, and no doubt from anybody that knows me, that knows that I am those things.
Yeah.
But I also am goofy and silly and funny and flirty and, multifaceted in my personality. And I really wanted to be able to encapsulate that and embody that on Second Self. It's like yes, that is me, but there's also this me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like it's a cool kind of like foreshadowing with your life too. Like
definitely,
really, meeting your fiance and having like, obviously like you can, just because you're not dealing with like, you're not breaking up with him or you're not in a toxic relationship doesn't mean like you can't, like, obviously you can still write about that from lived experience, but
totally,
you having this, you're coming out, you're showing another side of you. Like you're now in this new relationship and you're like in a healthy one. And like, it's just I feel like there's a lot of parallels with this.
Definitely.
In your personal life and in your music.
Yeah. And I feel like this EP is just sort of like giving me permission to sort of like be these things, Yeah. It's like, yes, I know that I am a certain thing, but like writing a song that's like a fun pop song doesn't take that away. Like I can also have songs like that that I love, that are just like fun and flirty and relatable in that sense. You know, like someone wants to go out and have a good time, or someone wants to like check someone out. You know, it's like, it's okay for me to have those songs as well as the ones that like rip your heart out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What does it mean to you to own your music?
Oh my gosh, it means everything. I mean, this is the first time that I've had full creative control over everything, down to, the music video. I was never really even given proper budgets, not to harp on the major label system. It works amazingly for lots of artists, but, there's sometimes when like you have a vision and your budget doesn't allow for your vision.
Yeah.
And I really loved the idea of building a world. When I write songs, I see them visually. Yeah. I see like how they can be like funny or campy or emotional, like in a video. Yeah. And I never really got to have that realized on a major label. Yeah. Until kind of towards the end. Yeah. And so for me, that was like a big thing for me. I really wanted to have lots of fun visuals that went along with these songs. And also when you're like on a major label, they stress like having your face on everything so that everybody just like knows your face. Yeah. And when we put out Second Self, I was like, I don't want my face on any of the artwork. Yeah. Like I don't want any of that. So we found this incredible illustration artist that makes these really fantastic, evocative works of art. Yeah. And we had her make all of the art for all of the singles. But it's honestly just been incredible, being able to do things the way that I want to, and the way that I envision, and the way that I want it to sound, and the way that I want it to feel, and it not being contrived by people being like having conflicting things, and then you feel conflicted and you're like, oh my gosh, is this even and this was the first time I like wasn't stressed about putting songs out, because I was like, no, these 6 songs feel right to me. Yeah. I really love them, and I need to just like trust my gut. And I never really had the opportunity to trust my gut.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love this for you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you because you are just
Cute.
so talented. And obviously, I have friends in the music industry. I hear all the crazy things with the labels and this, that, and the other. And it's just a world I don't even understand. And what I hear of it,
I barely
I'm like,
even understand it.
I don't understand how
I've been
it's
in it for 15 years and I'm still like, what?
yeah. I'm like, is this legal? Like, actually? Like, I question it and I don't know anything. But when I hear things, I'm like, that doesn't...
100%.
The math wasn't math on that. But I think they're dumb for not letting you, like, have creative freedom with stuff because you clearly just are so talented. And
I don't think it was necessarily my label. I think that, and this is like a whole thing, but I really think that a lot of major labels don't trust their artists.
Interesting.
And the ones that do, those artists thrive.
Yeah.
The ones that let them have their vision thrive. But I think this is just my theory.
Yeah.
That a lot of the people that run major labels are still in the era where they just shoved a pop song down an artist's throat.
Yeah.
And we're like, you're going to sing this?
Yeah.
We're going to sign you because we like what you do and what you stand for and your vision. But we're going to shove these songs down your throat.
Yeah.
And like, there'll be times where like an A&R will ask me like, oh, we just signed this artist, and it'll be like an artist that I've been working with for a while or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, what producers do you think this artist should be working with or songwriters? I'm like, why don't you ask her?
Yeah.
Like, she's been doing this for a while. She knows who she likes. She knows who she has chemistry with.
Yeah.
She knows that this isn't broken. These are the songs, and this is the reason she got signed.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to ask other people an opinion on her art? Like, shouldn't you just ask her, like, who she wants to work with? And I think there's just like this, like,
something's
disconnect.
Yeah. Something's getting lost in communication. There's something.
100%. That's just my theory.
Well, I'm like so excited for you to have this moment, and I have 2 final questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, what advice would you give your younger self when you were first starting out in the industry?
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. Because I am who I am today because I have gone through so many things in this industry. Like, I can't even, like, the good, the bad, the heartbreak, the like falling in love with people that I'm writing with, the like, you know, like so many, like just so much.
Yeah.
But through all of that, I've obviously been able to grow and change and evolve and have perspective and process. And, you know, like who I was when I was 20 is not who I am at 31. Like, someone was talking to me the other day about a song that I wrote called Happy. And the pre-chorus of that song is like, sometimes I think I kill relationships for art. I start up all this shit to watch it fall apart. I pay my bills with it.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, 23, chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could never be me now.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to go through all of that.
Yeah.
To be who I am now.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the good things and a lot of the bad things have made me as adjusted as I am today.
I love that. Well, we got some good music out of that.
Period.
Okay, last question for you is, you know, you have had so much success in your career and you've accomplished so much, but I'm curious to know, either this can be from business or personal life, what are you most proud of yourself for?
What am I most proud of myself for? I think like breaking cycles. I don't come from the healthiest family. I don't come from money. That's not, I was on like food stamps and the whole thing. Like, I don't come from anything. And I think, and like, you know, breaking cycles of like toxicity, breaking patterns of things that I noticed in myself that I was like, wow, I really don't like the kind of person I am right now. And actively working on those things. Like, I'm proud of myself personally more than I am professionally. I'm obviously very grateful to do what I love every day and be able to live off of the thing that I love doing every day. But I'm proud of the people that I keep around me. I'm proud of the fact that I never let it get to me, all of this. You know? I'm just like a normal person. I go home and I'm in my garden and I just like,
we live the same life.
You know, like I'm just so normal. Like, so I'm proud of myself for like doing therapy every week, working on myself, finding somebody that I love, that respects me and appreciates me, supports me, going through all of those relationships where that wasn't a thing, and me being able to be like, cool, those are things that I'm not gonna settle for, and I'm not going to wear rose-colored glasses anymore, and I'm not going to see these red flags as like beige flags, you know, like I'm not gonna just gloss over. It's like, no, now these are things that I just will not stand for. You know, and being proud of myself for that. I feel like there's so many things. Like, I'm so proud of myself for, I don't know, a lot of stuff.
I love that. I love that. This has been like so fun. I'm like sad it's over because I just want to keep talking. You're just like the easiest person to talk to, and I just like relate to you so much on so many levels. But thanks for coming and
thank you.
Chatting
Thanks for
and
having
sharing
me.
And hopefully this was a good interview. I have that.
No, it was
literally
lovely.
We just like talked the whole time.
It's lovely.
It's so good.
I love it. Thank you.